In our last video, we sculpted this base mesh. It's pretty high polygon though. We had to deform it so we could sculpt it and get a general shape, try to match the roundness and smoothness of the Igor that we're trying to model. So now I'm going to show you how to turn this into a low poly mesh using the Retopo tool, this quad draw function in the modeling toolkit. So to do that, select the Igor sculpted mesh and make it a live surface. So if you click on the little magnet tool up here, that will enable it so that everything that we quad draw on top of this will then end up morphing to the mesh. So if we select quad draw, just to show you how it works, there's a bunch of keyboard shortcuts. So if you hold on these alternate keys, it'll do different things. So if you just click 4 points or a series of points like this, those points are located on the mesh. If you want to end up creating quads out of it, you hold down Shift and just alternate in between and click, and you end up creating a quad strip. If you want to just draw like a long quad strip, you can hold down Tab and you'll get this little starting quad that'll follow your cursor around. And if you do the middle mouse button, then you can scale that tab bigger. Something like that. So what we want to do when we're creating this topology is we want to work on edge loops. So we want to create an edge loop that circles around on the eye, an edge loop that circles around on the mouth to the center. We'll create an edge loop that goes down the middle and across the back of the head, and some edge loops around the shoulders and the neck. But specifically we're going to work on the face first because that's the most important edge loops to create. So if you hold down Tab, get this moving in the right direction, and then just left mouse click and start drawing around this surface. It doesn't have to finish, and it won't finish automatically. You'll just end up drawing over the topology. Then if you hold down Shift, that will finish. If you hold down Control, we can insert another edge loop right here in the middle. And then you can start grabbing these little points and moving them around. One thing that you can do to make it easier to see, because the topology kind of collides with what we have already in terms of the sculpted mesh, is you can turn on X-ray, so you can still see a little bit of the model below, but you can see the full topology that you're creating as far as the edge loops that you're trying to make, or the retopo. So under the shading for X-ray, there's not an option to set the transparency part, but if you go under preferences, you can get that, which would be under Windows, settings, preferences, and then under display, perhaps. Nope. No option. You can change the line widths. I'm not sure. You might want to Google that to see if it's possible. So the next quad draw that we'll want to create, or the next mesh loop or edge loop, is along the top here. We'll also draw one around the mouth. Let me go back to X-ray, or not. Turn off X-ray for a second. I want to draw. I'm going to have a little bit of a pinch here at the eye to make it smaller so that we have room to bring this quad draw around. So if you hit Tab, if you hold down the middle mouse button, you can scale it, make it bigger or smaller, left or right. So let's make it something like that. Tab, left mouse, and just draw an edge loop around both parts of the mouth. It's kind of all over the place, but You can grab these points, or you can grab the lines and pull them down to try to position things more, and it follows the topology as you're making these edits. So let's turn on X-ray again so we can see what we're doing. Probably need one more edge loop right here if you hold down Control. And you see where we can create more edge loops. That's why I'm drawing it so rough, is we can create more edge loops where we need them around the eyes. And the whole reason for edge loops is that this kind of, you can do this kind of retopo to increase the density of the mesh. And that's what you're going to need. So everywhere that something moves or animates a lot, like in the face, the eyes, the mouth, the lips, the eyebrows, you're going to want a lot more topology than you would sort of in the flats or the top of the head, the nose, things that don't move as much. In the joints and the shoulders, you're going to want more edge loops, elbows. Alright, so I'm going to show you something else here in a minute once we get this sort of blocked out that allows this to really smooth out. You don't have to tweak these points perfectly, because eventually we can end up doing a sort of relax where if you hold down Shift, you see this relax option, and that'll sort of increase or straighten out the lines when we get this going. Alright, so now we want to make an edge loop across the top of the nose. So middle mouse, let's go ahead and drag this way and then go across the top. They don't have to be joined together just yet. If you do start here, if you click on this line, it just extends it one by one. So we're just going to go across the top and around the back. Tab and down to the base of the neck. Let's just extend these. And then where we've got these gaps, we can just join them up by moving the points and snapping them. Alright, and then the same thing right here. Something like that. Pull this down to the lip. So you start to see how we're starting to get sort of an edge loop topology around the entire head that gives us a guide to work with. We may want to like lower some of these counts. If you want to lower it, just hold down Shift and you can get rid of a line. So then you can move this line. So we get less topology across the top of the forehead because we don't really need it there. Let's see. The next tricky thing is going to be creating a topology that goes across the nose with the proper number of detail, because you can see it's really not too bad right here, and we can always extrude this out into the center to create more detail. And then how you see here, if we try to do a quad draw here, it wants to do the quad. It wants to draw quads, which will be green. If I do something like this, that can be the base. There's one. And then if I finish this, I'll be left with a triangle here that I don't really want. But what we can do is if we insert a loop here, pull that up, suddenly we have another quad to work with. So that's a good way to sort of rough out the nose. You can put a point here, a point here, and then we have that. Yeah, it's looking good. And then we'll just draw these points around. And pull this down. Point. Now, you want to try to, wherever you can get, this will form out to a quad, it's okay. But you want to avoid something that ends up looking like this, or even worse, this, because that'll end up creating lots of problems in terms of deformation on the mesh when you try to animate. So you want it to sort of remain sort of a convex quad, not a concave quad. Let's see. Pull these lips down. So the idea is we want to kind of make sure we have enough room to join these together. Yeah, we're missing a line here, so let's grab this and move it. That makes it better. Probably another way to try and delete this point there. Another way to join these together is if you hold down Tab and just extend. You can do it that way too. Like I said, we can relax this. If I just hold down relax and draw across it, it's going to form these up really nice. Won't do it as much on the edges. They kind of want to stay where they are. So you need to do the relaxing across topology that's in the center and not on an edge loop. So we get some weirdness there where it wants to create another one of these. That's like a concave quad. So I'm going to just keep on extending. Whoops, actually inserted an edge loop there. Tab left, extend this, and then we can join that up. Let's thin out his eyelid here. Let's see. So we'll go a point and a point, shift. Sometimes it can't quite find the topology the way you've drawn it. That's why this extend is useful. Just make sure you join your points back up. Now we get to this interesting problem of trying to create a loop coming off the side of the eye that's going to wrap around to the back of the head. You have to think about this sort of like as a mask or a helmet. So we can extend probably this loop, and it'll go up across the ear. Can go straight out here. Extend again, just to get a rough idea of how it should map around the ear. We can create. I accidentally deactivated the extend tool here. Let me get rid of this. But it shows the topology. So what we can also do is we can create this loop that comes around the ear and then goes back across the top. Probably want to split these lines. Actually, it could come back and just sort of wrap and come back into the eye. Let's try that. So let's see. And we'll see how it goes. But I am going to take this loop down the side of the eye. I'm not sure what this walk tool is. It's this, just for moving around. It's for like first person move mode through a model. So let's go back to our quad draw, and we'll move this point, start aiming these down the back side of the ear. Tab, make it big, and let's see, from this one we can come around to the back here. So Tab. One thing you can do is you can just drag like a big one across and join it up, which obviously is not going to distort to the side of the model because it doesn't have the topology to do it. But if you go and you insert lines, so like control, then it will snap to the surface. So you get that rounded look then because it follows the topology. You probably want one coming off the top of the ear too, over the top of the head. So you can see what I'm trying to do is I'm just sort of deciding, like, you know, every now and then there's going to be this lineup of topology based on, you know, trying to wrap something on the horizontal, the vertical, whatever. And I'm trying to block that out and determine, so I can determine how to fill in the polygons from there. So let's do another extend from probably this one, even though it's not that high. Do this just to give us a couple of lines between these two. So let's do tab, extend, and we'll join it to, we'll probably get rid of this, pull that one there, and that's like roughly the top of the head right there, this one. So we'll join it up to that, and then again it's not curved, so we can insert edge loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. They might come back. Yeah, that's pretty good. So you see how it's starting to get like a skull cap formed. And let's go ahead and draw out, let me think. The other thing is we're modeling this guy with his smile in place. Normally we'd model with the lips closed, but because he's got such an exaggerated mouth, he can make a really big grin. It's probably better to model it with the grin so you get enough topology to be actually able to make the grin. And so I'm just going to relax this a little bit to be able to make the grin, and then sculpt it back to a flat face before we do any rigging or blend shapes. So let's go, let's do this. Let's try taking this. Then we're going to split here at the ear, so we'll create 2 points, that, and make that come around to the back of the ear. So extend, extend, pull this wide, extend, and let's join them up there, and we can always add more detail again later. Yeah, probably need one there, and one there. We'll save that. Alright, so that gives us something to work with across the ear. So then what will happen is this loop will come up and become the top of the ear. Actually, we can split it because you need a back face to this ear part and then a surface that comes around the edge that forms the actual earlobes. So what we can do is we'll split this, put a point here and then here, and shift join it, and we can't, let me get rid of that. Points, points. We're going to extend this, tab, going this way. We can rearrange these a little bit to help out. And that'll give us the top. This will be the one that goes along the surface here, or the earlobe. So we'll extend that. And then you get the one that goes across the back. We don't need a lot of detail here because we can always subdivide later and make it fit. But it's good to sort of think about how it's going to distort across the mesh before you start modeling too much. Save yourself some work later. I'm just going to pull these up to the top, along the top of there. He's got kind of this pointed bat ear, or dog ear, I guess. Like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect. There we go. And then we can extend the outer edge of the lobe here, which will form across this, the point. And then we'll extend it back into the ear, the inner ear. Whoops. Point, point. Sometimes it has trouble finding the right, there we go, points. No matter what, it's where the, you have to kind of play around with how to get the points going. So we'll extend this, then I should be able to find this one. And we'll just extend that one and join that up. We'll go ahead and just keep doing the extends because that seems to be working for this kind of hard to form ear. So one thing we can do, let's see, that there. And at the base, we could simplify the geometry here, but we don't know if we're going to end up needing it. So let's go ahead and go across the inside of the ear here. There, there. One more here. We've got, could take this to this edge and quad fill that one. That looks good. Quad. This could be a quad. That looks okay. Two here. And here, then we end up with an N-gon here. So we could quad this and make this triangular, or insert an edge loop here, which we probably need anyway, and then just create a quad, quad, quad. That way we end up with a nice sort of rounded shape at the bottom of the earlobe, and we have more geometry for carrying it around to the chin. So there's the ear. Now we have to fit this geometry and think about how it's going to wrap around. But first, let's get the base, the bottom of the chin coming off the ear, or the jaw. So I'm going to take this and extend. I'm going to go down from the lip here. Tab, extend to like there, the base of the neck. And again, it's not deforming, so we can just insert edge loop, edge loop. So now he's got his chin, and we want to join this to, this will be the neck loop, and this will be the bottom of the chin. So take this and just snap it there, and then insert edge loops along the base. Just rough it out. It doesn't have to be too many, maybe one more there, because we're going to have to join these up to the mouth. But then we can extend this around to the back of the neck. So we're going to pull, let's see, one more edge loop out here. And the problem is we're going to run up against this hump being in the way. So what we can do to fix that, I'm going to stop, hit Q on the quad draw. I'm going to turn off my live object for the surface here. Let's turn the shading back to turn off X-ray. So now we have, we can select this model. We're going to sculpt using the pull tool that we used, or the grab tool that we used in the last video. And we're going to pull this hump back out of the way so we can work on the bottom of the neck and the back of the neck and the bottom of the head. Let's see. So we want to make sure that we're using the tool settings, and if you don't have that, you can turn it off with the little hammer tool here. We want to turn the fall off, make sure it's on surface and not volume. So if we do volume, it'll do the head and the hump and pull them, keep them together. We're just wanting to pull this hump. Oops, we need a bigger brush. Out of the way. Need a much bigger brush. Oh, sorry, I adjusted the strength, not the. Oops, too big. Man, it gets big fast. Okay, right there. Bigger. Yeah, something like that. So that we get some overlap and we can just pull to make room for the head. We don't want to distort this part of the head, the neck. Just get this hump so that we can work on it. We'll come back and fix that in a second, or after we're done making the neck. Let's make the brush a little bit smaller so that we can get in here and pull the shoulders. That gives us something to work with. We'll fix that and come back and fix it in a sec. So hit Q to get off the sculpt tool. Then we'll make the surface live again. We'll select our quad draw mesh. Let's go ahead and turn on X-ray. So now we can get back here and work on the neck. So quad draw, hold down tab, pull this down, probably one more for the back of the neck. We're going to join, so this will be the neck loop here, so let's join these. Tab, extend. Oops. Somehow we got it running wide there. Okay. And pull this in. Trying to figure out where to start branching this off the back of the neck. So probably we can go, let me think about this. Let's go ahead and finish this loop out. It's always good to get your loop set. We'll leave it open for now. And draw it around the back here. So I want to join these two up. Let's see how this works. If I extend to here, and then join that to that, and there, I get a strip that I can start to insert points on. Let's see if this works. Sort of. It's not perfect because it sort of warps down, but you can still pull those up. To get the hump there. You have to make sure you're not sculpting from behind the hump, because then it will stick to or try to collide through the mesh. Okay. See what, like that. We can clean this loop up once we turn off the live object. So let's just get this going. Anyway, that's the edge loop for the neck, roughly. Probably are going to insert some more lines here, but just for now, let's leave it. Alright, so what we did is, okay, this is good. Pull that out and up. Probably pull a point off of here, start to split the loops. Shift fill, and a point up to here. Something like that. And let's go back, extend. Point, oops, shift. So we're going to need another edge loop here. Shift, block, shift. Alright, so now the trick is where to take these lines. We can go 1, 1. Probably need I don't need a whole lot of detail on the back here. Let me think. Could pull this back like that. We'll create a quad here. Let me extend this. Whoops. Something like that. I'm not sure if that's enough. And it may, depending on his jaw, it might be weird, but I'm going to leave it like that for now and see what happens. Got to figure out how this is going to map. So if we do a quad there, then we can insert an edge loop. No, I don't want to do that. It's too much. Although that may be all we can do. Quad. Maybe what we can do is insert. No. Let's get rid of this quad and this one. We'll take that this way. That looks good. And put a quad here. And another edge loop along the back of the head here is okay because that's where the neck's going to have to flex. So that gives us that. Then we can straighten this out and get rid of some of these. Let's get rid of this and this. Pull this down. That looks good. We can pull this up. It's looking really good because then you get this nice edge loop across the back of the skull and a straight one coming off the jaw around to the back of the neck. So then the trick is, how do we split? Let's do shift this. We've got an edge loop. We can put a split here and pull these down. His neck's going to come down a little bit anyway, so here, like I said, we can always release these. Let's go ahead and finish this, or relax them, I should say. And we'll do another insert one here. I'm going to get this one point, which is a triangle in his neck. It's not a big deal on this model, but I'm going to relax these and see what happens, how this spreads. Let me think. You can see how that point kind of creates that gap there. So you don't want that for his neck. I could do, probably going to need one more line here anyway, which then allows me to fill that with a quad. Sorry, right there. If I can hit it. There. And then our neck. All right. Then we've got this. Whoops. It looks good again. It's not ideal for a neck, but it'll work. We kind of needed it anyway because we were low on geometry right here in the jaw going up to the lip. Alright, we may change that here in a sec. Alright, that's good. We got the back of the neck. Let's go ahead and flesh out his chin and jaw. So we can join this for now. Another one. And then we need to figure out a way to get 3 loops from here to here. So we can insert 2 and just do this. 2, 3. That's okay. It gives us a good smile line. And also the ability to kind of start to squint the eyes up here when he smiles, which is nice. There's a lot of geometry right here, though, coming down into his chin. But we'll see. We're going to need some edge loops anyway for the lips. So what we can do is, let's just take this around. Actually, let's extend it around this way. So if you hold down middle mouse or tab and extend, you can get all 3 of them to go along the line. So So that was like tab and then middle mouse button to pull this down. I don't know here if this is ideal, curving around to the jaw, but what we can do is probably extend to here. Let's get rid of this one. Take this point and do something like that so that we split it again, and it'll give us a little relaxation in the jaw at the crease for the mouth, and that'll help. And now let's just do this. Let's see. Oops. Let's see if we need to do that again, coming around to here. So let's take, again, tab, extend, something like that. Tab, oops, sorry, that was the left mouse for just the one, which you can also do if you just want to do the left mouse button. But the middle mouse will let you do an entire line. The trick is you only want to do it on a straight line. A rounded line that curves back on itself, you're going to get some collisions, and you'll see that if we tried to do it. But this will help kind of speed the process up. And we'll figure out lines up here in a sec. Like again, we can relax these once we get them. They don't have to be perfect. Same thing from this direction if we take that. I'm going to purposely leave them messed up here for a second, just to point out how much the relax can help. Okay, so two more. Let's see. And here. So you can see where we're starting to get spread out here a little bit. Probably don't have nearly enough points to finish this out. Let me think if I need. So that means what we want to do is treat this as a split somewhere here. So probably can insert this line like this, and then here. Let's see if that works. Yeah, so now we've got their 2 points going into the jaw. Oops, undo. One more. We need one more loop here, I'm guessing. So let's get rid of this one. Insert an edge loop here. Shift, and then point, shift, point. And now we have the jaw, so it's kind of a mess. Points are everywhere, so we can just hold down relax and run it, and they line up really nice. So run or relax, just hold down shift and run relax across your topology after you kind of get it roughed out, and you'll get a much better flow on the edge loops than what you might have just by clicking and pushing points. Again, it won't work so well on the edges, so if you just get them spaced out the way you want, then it helps get the, and they should be sort of evenly spaced, unless for some reason you're just trying to create a lot of extra detail. But let's see, there. Alright, this is looking pretty good. See, what I mean by evenly spaced is there's no reason for this to kind of go down on the back of the head, so let's put it up here where it's evenly spaced. Okay, now we've got to block out the top of the forehead, and let's do the back first. So obviously coming from these 2 points going into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to have to do some splits. So we'll do this, and we'll do this. That'll create 3, and let's go ahead and take it up one more, and here. So then do another split. There's 4, and that should be 5. So let's see. 1, 2, Oops, accidentally. Alright. Again, we don't have to be perfect here. And come into 1. Ta-da. Okay, so shift to relax. That looks good. And actually it works really good. Okay. Now we got to go across the top of the head. So we have the beginning of this mask. It gets split here. I wanted to create sort of a face that goes around the edge, but because of the ear, probably what we can do is, this is too extreme coming off of the ear here. So let's get rid of these 2 points. We'll do another split like that. Insert an edge loop here. Pull this into the eye a little bit more. And let's see where we're at now. So we've got a point, a quad, maybe another edge loop here. And then that gives us the ability to, let's see, tuck one there. And it also gives us the ability to run these across the top. So let's pull this back. Let's see what happens for. Here. Alright, so here's where it gets tricky. What do we want for this eye? If we take that, it's fine. You want to split one from here, or do we? Yeah. Or we could flush this down. Let me see. Point. Going from there to there across. Let's do this. It kind of gives us the ability to raise the eyebrow a little bit. Maybe? I don't know. Let's see. That's not going to work good. That's not going to work. So shift, get rid of that, and that. Let's try. Probably need another line here. So let's do insert. No, get rid of this. Insert here. Pull this down. And then something like that. No. You want this quad to come up like this. That gives you a better eyebrow, right? So let's get rid of this line. Probably keep following the edge loop around from here, and then we'll figure it out at the top of the head. It's better to keep any kind of weird junctures in your mesh quads off of something that's going to be heavily animated like this eyebrow. If you try to put some weird quad right here in the corner of the eye, it's just not going to animate well. So split this here. Let's see how this is. Again, we can retopo. So we can, I'm going to put, if I do an edge loop, yeah, it actually goes all the way around, well, to the mouth. Let's see. Let's see how this works. Yeah, because it'll curve around. And maybe here, nope. Pull this in here. Nope, that's not the edge. That's sort of the beginning of the mask, and I could use the extra topology right here anyway, so does that go all the way around? We'll relax that in a second, see. Alright, now what happens here is we'll quad this, probably need another line there, we'll spread the geometry back. Quad, let's see, shift here, here, and then, quad that. Somehow I want to think about this. Insert an edge loop here, quad, quad. That's a little better. Let's see what happens. Actually kind of like that, because one of the things that happens with an eyebrow is that you get this muscle that's along the top of the skull ridge that pulls your eye. That's what gives you the ability to pull. We're going to have his hair obviously covering this part of his head. So this creates a nice sort of geometry that pulls towards a point. So when we lift the eyebrow, it may look pretty good. Alright, so then let's spread this. Again, we've got to spread these evenly across the center line. You do want more topology across the front of the face and the head than on the back, although we do have a fair amount here in the back. We could probably have simplified this more, but it'll be fine. Line it up. All I'm doing is running this relax tool across so that everything finds the right line for the shape that we have, that we're using as our live object. Yeah, it's looking good. This is good. It's moving a lot more points back along the bottom of the jaw. Alright, let's see. It's really good. Spread these out. Now I've got some, I'm going to try to line these, make sure that my mouth line is relatively straight. You see where it's getting a little jagged on the edge? That's okay, but the better I can make it in terms of a smooth line right now, the better off I'll be when I go to extrude it into the mouth later. And it looks pretty good. Although for some reason this point right here on the corner isn't finding the edge of the mesh much. Maybe we just need another edge loop for the lips. We're going to straighten this line out when we go to flip it anyway. Let's see if I insert one here, just for more detail, and the same thing on the eye. It's looking pretty good. Gonna fix that and that. Trying to figure if this is see what happens. It's pretty good. So it's moving the geometry towards the inner eye, which is good because that's where we want it. And maybe, no, I'm trying not to add too much. We can always extrude this and make it have more detail here. Like, in other words, we can create, let me see, if I get rid of this polygon, we'll fill it back in a second. Insert an edge loop here. So that gives us the top of the nose. And then insert an edge loop, get rid of this one, and insert an edge loop here so it curves to the bottom. Then what I can do is I'll wrap around here. Make this point and that, and then one more here, like that. Now I get a much more detailed nose that'll find the actual curvature of the nose. Maybe pull this out, which gives us more for the, if I wanted to add another edge loop here, which I could probably, yeah, I need it. I can see it on the lip here. One thing I'm noticing is when I insert that, I want to make sure that I don't think it'll automatically insert. But if I do this multi-cut maybe, yeah, if I multi-cut, then I get the ability to turn on edge flow right here, this little checkbox, and it will find the loop and kind of smooth it out for me. That looks a lot better. Go back to quad draw. Yeah. Okay. So that's the head. We can extend the neck here in a little while. We'll leave it for now. Let me smooth this. This could come down. See if this works. I'm inside of the hump. No, I can't move it. Like I said, we'll fix that loop here in a little bit when we make the neck. That's the head. So now let's do the body. So what we want to do is draw an edge loop along the front of the body here. Let's go ahead and turn off X-ray so I can see what I'm. So if I draw, and I don't want it to be too small because I don't want to make too many. I mean, we've got a lot of polygons in the head. We don't need those in the body as much, especially because he's so round and kind of solid. He's supposed to be a stop motion puppet. We may add more later, but it's better to go low poly now. So if I held down that and middle mouse to scale bigger, something like this, down to the bottom of the shirt. We'll move these to the front because I accidentally went across. There we go. Pull this down. And we'll extend it up some. Let's see. Go to X-ray. Tab to extend. And this will be our neck loop. Okay. So let's take, since that'll be our neck loop, let's extend it that way. Let's see, we got some points colliding because I went through the mesh here, so let's undo that and pull that in. So we're kind of creating a collar for him here. Really low poly. We'll extend this up along the back. Trying to think if I should. Let's go just to stop it for a second. I'm going to end up getting some stuff trying to collide with this. I'm going to go ahead and quit and select my object mode. Notice how these are connected because every time I'm appending polys, it's going to make it into a single mesh. I'm going to go under Windows and separate. So now they're two objects. I can take the head and go into the layer editor And let's make a new layer from selected. We'll call that Igor head. Save. Oh, okay, how many spaces? Sorry. Okay, I can turn that off now. It's going to be there, but let's go back and work with this. So now I don't have to worry about accidentally combining these things into points that are going to go across the head and messing with the mesh that I've just made. Alright, so go back to Quad Draw, and we'll extend these points up across the back. So now think about, one of the things we can do is we'll make a quad draw here around the shoulder too. So middle mouse, let's make it smaller. Something like that. And extend. So what happened is that I got this ran it up across. So you have to always make sure you're sort of hitting this from the right angle. Join this up. And we'll do it across the front here. And along the bottom. We'll just extend these then. And we'll insert the edge loops. Alright. Now we have our edge loop going into the arm as a start. And we can extend like that. So we need another edge loop across the shoulder. Like that. Bring this one around. It kind of stretches a lot across the shoulder here. We don't need. There we go. And we do want like an obvious top of the shoulder. So there, that's a little weird distortion along the back here. It's looking good. So we'll extend that. We need a loop here, obviously, so we can block that out. Probably need one more in the shoulder going along the back here. Just so he can flex forward, because he's got these kind of T-Rex arms. Probably going to want some more along the edges. Oops. Behind the mouth. Alright, let's see how that looks. Alright, we'll continue this edge loop up across the back. Tab extend. Let's move it here. I don't want it to go straight. I want it to extend. Curve around. Do one more, something like that. It's pretty good. Then we can run a loop across the top of the hump. Let's see here. So tab to the back. Obviously it's straight through, but then if we held down Control, it'll find a form. Oops, accidentally inserted. Let's move that down. Same thing along the back. So tab, extend all the way down to the bottom of the shirt. Yep. Then we'll just insert. That. Like I said, as long as it's straight, we'll fix it. on the center line here, we can fix all this other stuff. Okay, coming around the back of the hump from the arm, let's do it from here. Oops, tab extend to probably here. Like that. Extend. That. And then the bottom of the arm, which would be, let's see. It's hard to see. Bottom of the arm's probably this one, which is a little more forward than it would be on the side because he's got these arms in the front of his body. Let me turn off the X-ray for a second so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So let's take it from here instead. Tab extend, pull it down to the side of the shirt, go wide. And we're going to do the same number of points here. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Could probably have another one there for the chest. 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it kind of, for some reason it collapsed on me, but still work with it. Alright. And we're going to join this up with an extend. We'll go back to X-ray mode. Insert 2, 3, 4. Something like that. 1, 2, 3. This will work. Let me make sure that I'm not wrapping these points around to the bottom of the shirt. Try to keep the form right. Yep. Okay, and then the same thing along the back side here. So extend, pull it to the points, and we'll go 1, 2, 3. Let's just do 4 for now, and one more here. So this one is wrapping to the back underside of the shirt, so just pull this point along the edge. Alright, for some reason it's problematic to get them once they've gone to the back side of a shape. They want to snap differently until you get them on the right side. Okay. Alright, that's looking good. Again, we're just sort of creating like an armature to work with and rough out the shape. Probably need one more here. Alright, let's think about how to extend this. Probably want to add one more in here. Then extend. And we can do a split here. And that gives us the ability to go up a little bit more. So let's carry these around. So quad. Quad. Probably do another extension off that. Let's see. It's kind of big. Let's do. Yeah, let's do something like this. Alright. This gets line there. Definitely want more. I don't know if we want that geometry going into the arm though, because we got too much already around the shoulder. Let's take that. We'll do a split here. There. And I'm going to follow that split so that we can bring this down a little bit. Hold down, relax. Alright, quad draw. Just kind of rough. Let's see. Let's see where we go with this. Pull that in. Back. Starting to get there. Let's see how this works. It's very rough, but you want less polygons on things that aren't going to be moving around so much. And this hump, hopefully, isn't something that's going to move around much. Let's see. Starting to pinch in here at the edge. We got a lot of detail. Probably can pull some of this around. Like a lot. To try to redistribute some of this geometry. Yeah, it's better. Now, it's getting really detailed here because of the arm. Let's figure out a way to take this down a notch. So, get rid of this. Pull that down and in. Pull that up. Looks good. It also creates sort of a nice back shoulder edge. Yeah. It's good. Pull this up. And let's try taking them across. See where we can join. Alright, so now this is really spread. We can pull this back up here. Probably need another split here. So something like that and that. Finally go there. Wait, I need to go 3 into here. So 1, 2, another split there. And 3, we'll insert an edge loop here. Quad. Now it's really rough, but we can, like I said, we can just relax all of this to make it find the right shape. Probably want to go back and fix, using the sculpt tool, fix our hump to pull it back into the head now that we have this neckline going the way we want, sort of. Let's move this down a little. Okay. Yeah, it's looking good. Pull that. Make sure your quads are spread around enough. Alright, looks good. We'll fix it in a minute. tell that I'm going to want to split here and here. And then maybe wrap this around the lower parts. Yeah, like that. And then the same thing so that I get less geometry going around the back because I just don't need it at this point. Same thing. And I want that probably because it creates a nice underarm loop. Although this it's not like he's got like really big delts or anything, but let's do that. How many have we got going down? Take them down the back. I'm just trying to get around to where I can figure out my counts. Yeah, so I need one more edge loop. I can pull this around. One, 2, 3, 4. Probably going to need an edge loop here. Alright, so what is this going to give us? Yeah. So I put a point here, then I get that and that. And I can spread them out or relax them. And this needs to come higher, spread out. Yeah. Alright. Now let's get the front fixed. Let's see. So we want to continue. Let's see. One thing I don't like is that I'm losing the ability to insert an edge loop around the arm here at the shoulder. But I can insert it here and just pull this stuff back. Let's do that. Alright. Let's see. 1, 2. And there'll be a split here. Let me think. That'll be the top of his pec. Something like that. Yeah. Looks better. Then maybe another split here. Probably. Let's take this down the front. Okay. Let's do it along the bottom. Okay. And there. So we're slowly figuring out what's got to happen here. So probably another loop there. And let's do this. This will go up. Yeah, that's weird. let's think. Get rid of these and pull this. Quad, nope. Don't want that. That. And that. We can insert an edge loop here, there. So sort of create like the rib cage or a belly line. All right, let's see. All right, so there's that, this body. And we want to create now an edge loop for the arm. So what we can do with this round arm is we can hold down tab and extend, and it's going to pull out an entire ring since we have the edge loop, but you have to be careful how you do it because you see how it wants to collapse because of the snapping. So we'll pull it all the way out to here, line the edges up on the sleeve, and we'll insert, we'll subdivide it from there. So make sure that you start to straighten these points out. Don't have them sort of twisting as they go out the arm. And to help with that, we can turn off X-ray and see how it sort of starts to slope down. We don't want that. We want it to go, it's okay if it's dropping down in the geometry, but like not forward here at the top. That should come pretty much straight out the arm. And we have a lot of stuff colliding in the back. Let's see. Before we go and insert all of these extra loops, actually we can pull this back, 'cause this way we can see where things are starting to collide, and you can also see there's the twisting's actually starting there. Same thing here. Pull that up. This looks good. Go back into X-ray mode, and we can fix these points with a little tweaking. I'm just trying to move them up a little bit so they don't spread as much going down. Let's see, yeah. That way we get a nice shape that'll continue straight out and give us a good spread of polygons going across the arm. Now we can extend, let's see, actually one way we can extend this is to start point clicking and closing our polygons along the inner arm loop here. So if I hold down Shift, and make sure you click in the seam, which may not be too obvious depending on yeah, you see where it's like the arm comes up to here. Okay, oops. There we go. Then get them aligned as much as you can so that everything spreads good. Okay. And you can take that tab and middle mouse extend out to the elbow. Let's make sure we don't twist it. Actually, I probably should have done that from the top. Tab. Let's see if I can get the angle right. Tab, extend. Oops, I didn't do the middle mouse. Tab, middle mouse, extend, pull, and keep them in line. There we go. So we had a little weirdness there, but we can fix that. Still sort of warped a little, but we'll fix the points. So the idea is to try to keep these going straight out the arm so the topology doesn't twist for the arm. Because if you create an artificial twist in the topology, if it's not straight out the arm, then when at certain types of poses in the animation, you'll actually start to get some distortion, especially for like heavily muscled characters or anything like that. Alright, sometimes you may want to twist because depending on the curves of the arm, they may actually, the twist might actually help with trying to animate muscles, but this guy's got pretty straight arms, so I don't think it's going to help. Alright, so that'll be his edge. I'm going to go ahead and insert edge loops at the extremes. So we'll go here, like that, whoops, there, just to create a sleeve. I'll go ahead and insert one. I'll leave that one. Do insert across the top of the sleeve. And we can relax that. You need help? Yeah, looks good. Alright, let's see. I'm just relaxing these so they find their proper place now, because if you do this insert, sometimes they don't always follow the lines. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and insert one in between the elbow and the arm. Same thing. Oops, gotta be careful. See, here's what happened. I've got this, I can pull up across the top. Got a little kind of collision on the sleeve at the edge where it wanted to go and insert across the top of the arm or the sleeve itself. So you get this weird snap. See how it doesn't want to let me pull that out. It just takes a second for it to get from the inside of the geometry to the outside, and you have to pull it from the right angle because you can see where it's colliding. Some weird twist. Grab this and let's put it out here, which looks weird, but then when we pull it back to the sleeve, it should at least be on the inside, the outside of the arm, and then we could slide these points around the sleeve so that they're in the right place, and then pull this back. I know it's crazy, but sometimes that's what it takes. The snapping's not perfect, or using these live objects, because if the polygon snaps to the inside of the object versus the outside, then you end up with something you have to fix. You can always push and pull it without the live turned on, and so that's probably what we'll do here. If we want to pull this arm further back into the sleeve, we'll just turn off the geometry snapping, grab this edge loop or extend one and pull it back into the arm to fix it, make it look more like he's got a sleeve instead of this solid object that has an arm coming out of it. So what we'll do, in order to keep this and distribute it, we'll insert an edge loop right at the top of the arm. And then we can run relax. Notice how if I run relax, it wants to relax the stuff on top too. Another, there we go. Got to give it something to pull between, or to average between. That's all the relax is doing, is finding those points and looking at the neighboring points and creating an average between them. Alright, so now we're starting to get the arm going. Let's look at it. X-ray mode off. Yeah, looks good. Alright. It's pretty good. Go back to X-ray shading. And we're going to extend the arm. Get to the top view. Tab. Oops, sorry, not tab 1, but tab middle mouse. And we're going to try to take it all the way to the wrist. You see where it starts to like have trouble finding the topology? Like that. That's pretty good. I'm going to quit out for a second and then select these vertices. Pull those to the wrist like that. I'm going to flatten them too, just on the X, and probably redistribute them just a little bit. I've still got live object on, so it should, yeah, it follows the point of the model, the surface of the model. I'm just trying to make sure that the geometry at the wrist is distributed as much as possible so that I'm not going to end up bunching things on the hand, like, because I've got a lot of points coming into the bottom here. Plus, that'll help with distributing the points along the model as I insert edges across the arm. Alright, pull that, yeah, it can come up more. Good. Alright, so now they're starting to get properly placed at the wrist. Look at it going around. It's looking pretty good. That's good. We will select all those, turn off live object for a second, and then we can scale that X. And then the same thing right here, just to kind of create the lines. The relax will help too. Now we can turn, select our object, turn on live. Actually, we have to select it in object mode. Make it a live surface again. Select our mesh, go back to quad draw. And okay, so the elbow is here. I want to create two edge loops on both sides of that elbow. Then we'll create some spacing along the arm too. Notice how it's snapping in place. Looks good. Maybe another one here. Alright. Create one on one side of the wrist. That's pretty good. And then we'll extend this again out across the hand, and we'll insert another edge loop for the other side of the wrist. Let's go to the top here. Try to get roughly on the top like that. And then grab your edge loop, middle mouse, and pull. Try to make it straight. So you notice how it sort of doesn't follow. It's basically going through the object because it's pulled out. So we can grab these points and pull them out here. Again, and then that'll make it snap to the edge. You just want them evenly distributed as much as possible, so we got some weirdness there. Pull that down to the bottom, spread these out. It's good that that's in the center line of the hand. Alright, so it's looking pretty good. Look at it from this angle, you can really see where you need to make the lines go. Because what we're going to want is spacing for the fingers to create the shape of the hand. So that should come to the center, there. This could come down. This goes around, and this one comes down. There we go. And you see how it spreads. That's pretty good. That looks good for the hand. Alright, let's straighten these points out. Just take them, try to get it roughly in the shape. Doesn't matter if these come back at the bottom, but mainly along the top you want them to sort of line up as the knuckles would. Okay, insert edge loop here for the wrist, and we'll insert one for the bottom of the thumb, and then one for the top of the thumb here. Probably need another one here at the bottom of the thumb. Yeah, it's looking good. And maybe another one for the wrist. We'll leave that. Alright. Now we're going to take it to the knuckles. So let me get an angle. Tab, middle mouse, and pull it all the way up to the very end. Not all the way to the very end, or so it'll collapse on itself. Just make sure that the points stay the way you want them. Again, we can relax this once we get it roughed out. Alright, so now we get into this trick where we want to make the edge loops of the fingers line up with the hand, the palm. We can delete this point, and we probably want to insert an edge loop then across here so that we get more topology for the thumb. Maybe even another one back here. Yeah, and then we can insert an edge loop here coming off, so this we have, I guess, a little extra point for the thumb. That's good. So then we can grab, spread this out. And let's see. Then we can start to pull this back a little bit. It's looking good. Alright, so then what we can do is start to block out the thumb. Let's think about this a sec. We're going to probably want to split here. To create more topology. And that'll open it up for me. Let me think. If I do that, I'll end up with a quad. But if I do this and delete this one, then I can get a good flow from here going across the top of the thumb. It'll create an edge loop. So like that. And then the inside going down to the center. It's hard to see. Let's turn off X-ray and see if that helps. Yeah, it helps a little. Okay, turn it back on. Let's see, quad. We can make a quad strip here. Let's see. There'll be one off the side, across the top, here, and here. Let's see what that does. And maybe a quad. Another split right here. If I can find it. There we go. And another there. Top. Let's see. And then that one blocks there. Alright, now you have to kind of change the geometry. Pull it out across the thumb so it starts to create the ring for... I thought I was finished. Let me see what this looks like. Make that point snap to there. I think we got enough geometry for the thumb. The question is whether or not it's going to create the right shapes. We can pull this down in. Yeah, that's good. I think we have an edge loop too, which is nice. Yep, I got a triangle. No, I don't. There we go. So let's do this. Let's pull this out and really get the extreme. We'll insert an edge loop and see what happens. And we can then relax, see where it goes. It should find the shape that we want. So let's do oops, thought I could create an edge loop, but something weird's going on. Gotta figure it out. Probably back right there. That's the problem. So I need, what I can do is delete this, insert an edge loop here, and create the split. Insert an edge loop. Nope. Let's see. Edge loop. Yeah, two quads here. Alright, let's try that. There and there. Let's see what that looks like. I lost my edge loop again. I need this connected around. Let's see how this goes. So if I take this to here, is that the edge loop? Nope. Sorry. Actually, I need another point like here. If I can get it to do it. And that's the edge loop. Not a sec. Then that can go to here. Alright, there's going to be a triangle there. Let's see what that does. My edge loop's good. I just have to figure out how to get rid of this triangle. Probably can do it, I think, going along the top here. It's going to insert one there. Do I have an edge loop here? Yeah, I do. Actually, let's see. Pull that. I can insert an edge loop here. If I get rid of this and I insert and this, insert here, then I get an edge loop there, insert here, then I have my quad back, and here, let's see, point, and then pull that to here, and I still have my triangle. Let me think about this. Shift, quad, got an N-gon now. Just got to figure out where I want this triangle, if I even do. Might be, I just need to figure out how to simplify. Maybe like this. Nope, that's a triangle. Quad. Where would I want that triangle? I think I want this, and then leave the triangle there. Let's see what happens. And I adjust or relax everything. It's looking good. Putting it back. Alright, I think it's pretty good. This isn't optimal, but for as small as his hand is, we're going to go with that. We might fix it here in a minute once we extend this and figure out where the hand goes, or the thumb. Alright, so let's just extend the thumb and we'll spread this stuff out. Alright, take the tab, middle mouse, extend to the joint. We're going to pull this, push and pull points to get everything in the right place. And spread out, right? Then we can insert edge loops. So you want to take it across the top of the joint, the knuckle, and move them around a little bit, get them spread so we don't have any bunching going up. Let's see. The length of the thumb, which will create a twist. Alright, that's good. I'll go ahead and extend that. Middle mouse. We'll go to here. We can insert here for the joint. we'll insert one in between, something like that. And redistribute a little. Tab, middle mouse, extend to the tip of the finger. One more, starts to taper. And spread them out again. It's looking good. Then one more to extend. We're going to end up closing this out at the tip. Alright, so what do we do here is I'm going to start point, click, click, extend, there, for like a fingernail. We're going to spread it out. Oops. By relaxing in a sec. I was inside the model. In there. You have to think about how these are going to come together and meet. Let's see, there's a quad here. It's nice. And although it's not the best, quad along the side here. Let's see. It's hard to see. Let's go ahead and just keep the points going. So quad, quad, quad. Then how do we close this? Quad. Do a quad there, and a quad here, quad. Did I not close that? This one, this one, this one. Alright, now you can relax it so it finds the average. Probably insert right there. There we go. Alright, so that's the thumb. We're going to work on this in the next video to create some thumbnails and fingers. But for now, that'll work. Alright, there's the thumb. Now we have to create our edge loops for the fingertips. So the way to think about this is I'm going to move these points so that they're in the right place. So there's going to be a finger knuckle there. Maybe we split coming off into those knuckles. It's probably a good idea. So 1, 2 there, 2 there, 1, 2 there. And we'll pull this one down. 1, 2. There's our knuckles. It'll come around. There'll be a split down here. Oops, not that way. This way. And another. So this is our crease where the knuckle would be, going around a ring in the finger. So pull this out and that forward a little on each joint. 1, 2, more. And one more, let's see. Same thing. So what we're starting to do is think about how to close these fingers and create finger rings that'll extend around to the edge. Let me think. Close this around, and we're going to do the same thing across the bottom. So 1, 2, oops, not that, there. I'm going to split this one. Bottom, you don't have knuckles on the bottom of your finger, but it does need to sort of be symmetrical. You're going to want a ring around the bottom, so pull this into place. Alright, and looks like we might have an extra edge loop along the bottom. Let's see, close this one. We will start to create this one and that one. So, yep. So what we can do is rather, alright, so this brings up an interesting problem. We want to get rid of this and this one and that one. We'll close this to here, so then we're going to have a triangle right there, but that's in a place where a triangle is actually fine because it actually should crease. Then we'll create our bottom, what we call a knuckle here, and go ahead and create the crease, and then this crease, another bottom knuckle here, and another crease. Then we can block this. Let's try that. Alright. Then we just have to join them down the middle. So we'll want to split right here. If I can get it. There. And there. There. And that. Okay, that looks good. So we have our first finger edge loop. One more. It's tricky to find these. It's where they'll snap. But once you get them, then they can join pretty easily if you move them around. There. We're almost done. Here. There. I accidentally made the wrong one. So pull this up into place so it can find itself around the corner. There we go. And you can pull it back down. And we should have edge loops all the way around the fingertips then. Just to check, you can grab tab, middle mouse, and extend. Something like that. Looks good. Tab, middle mouse, extend. Tab, middle, whoops. It was just moving. Tab, middle mouse extend, and the last one. This one's having trouble because it's not finishing this point. It's okay, we can pull them out. Alright, so once you get those, you can always insert, hold down Control, like a knuckle joint, and then you can relax so everything finds its proper place. And later on, rather than going and like hand modeling all of these fingers, in the next video we'll go through and actually just model one finger, put a fingernail on it, and get it to then duplicate it like box modeling style, and connect it to these points. Okay. Now we kind of have like a shorthand glove. We're going to model these fingers box modeling in the next video. So this is probably a good place to stop this video. I'll finish out the legs using all the same techniques that we've done. Let me go and show where we got to. Turn on the head, object mode. So we've got this head. Turn off, actually let me, yeah, there we go. Turn off X-ray. So we've got this head and arm with finger holes and all the topology the way we want it. We'll go and model and extend this to create the legs. When we're done, we'll line up all these, and this will happen in the next video. We'll go and create these center lines, finish out the eyes and the mouth and the fingers, and get it to the point where we can flip it, like merge geometry, flip it, and then we'll be able to go and UV map. Alright. Save it. Let's go retopo. Start. Alright. That's that.